Time is a critical element when dealing with the aftermath of a domestic violence attack. Counties follow Missouri's statute when it comes to arresting domestic violence suspects, but one Missouri county is giving domestic violence survivors more time for protection from their attackers. KOMU8's Isabella LEDONNE shows us how in this Target 8 investigation.
In Missouri, more than 40% of women and more than 35% of men have experienced domestic assault in their lifetime. I found Cole County has a unique policy for the amount of time a suspect spends in jail after being arrested. It's 24 hours. 24 hours where suspects cannot post bail. And advocates I talked with told me why that time matters.
In that 24-hour time period, we can lay out all of the options that exist for a survivor.
Angela Hirsch with Jefferson City's Rape and Abuse Crisis Center sees domestic violence survivors every day.
Oh, yes.
After an abuser is arrested and held in the Cole County Jail, survivors can plan their next move.
That 24-hour hold gives us a little bit of time to assess the situation and then develop a safety plan.
24 hours, where suspects sit in the Cole County Jail and cannot post bond for release.
If there's no preset bond, like with domestic violence, they're held for 24 hours. So then they have to sit for 24 hours in my facility. So the bond won't be set until 24 hours after someone has been in custody.
But this policy isn't in every mid-Missouri county.
There's no such statute in Missouri that addresses that as far as how long someone is held post-arrest on a domestic assault.
Boone County will make an arrest if there are multiple calls in a 12-hour period following the Missouri statute.
We ask our deputies to go out anytime there's any type of physical altercation between people of a domestic relationship.
But suspects can be released on bond quickly after an arrest.
KOMU8 first started investigating these policies back in September after J.T. McLean was charged with the murders of Allison and Josie Abbotts.
Tonight, deputies are still searching for the suspect in the Boone County double homicide from Sunday night.
We found he had a history of domestic abuse against his ex-wife, and advocates pointed out a pattern between domestic abusers and violent outcomes.
A person with a history of domestic violence is 500 times more likely to murder their significant other.
During that search of abuse records with his ex-wife, we found McLean was arrested for violating a court order of protection in January. He was released just 3 hours after his arrest.
A lot of times these people are bonding out before the report's even done.
Advocates say in these situations, time is of the essence, and a 24-hour hold policy can help protect survivors.
That 24 hours is crucial because that's 24 hours that a victim has to come up with a plan. Whereas if they don't have that time, within an hour, the abuser can be back in the home.
Cole County Sheriff sees the policy as a way to protect survivors from violent retaliation.
Sometimes just by separating, calming down, your forebrain starts thinking again. You start thinking logically again and not illogically. It's safer for individuals that are involved in a domestic violence.
Other advocates say enacting this policy in all Missouri counties would provide more protection.
It would be wonderful to have more consistency with a 24-hour hold because the abusive partner might be there waiting for the person before they get back home.
This 24-hour period, it gives more time for these individuals to try to help break that cycle of violence.
To try and stop one of America's most underreported crimes.
I found Cole County received 824 court orders of protection in 2021, but the number of domestic violence arrests was much lower at 338. The sheriff told me that number shows how many domestic violence situations occur throughout mid-Missouri, but go unreported. In the studio, Isabella LEDONNE, KOMU8 News.